Hello, this is Brian Tatler from Diamond Head, and you're watching That Metal Interview.
That Metal Interview.
Thank you for making time, and pleasure meeting you. Such a legend in the rock metal business. So thank you for making time, Brian.
You're welcome.
So very first question. I'm sure you're burnt out with all these questions. The very first question, the new wave of British heavy metal. What comes to mind, Brian, when you hear that term?
Okay. Well, there was a magazine called Sounds. It wasn't a magazine, it was like a paper. There was three sort of broadsheet newspapers in the UK at that time, 1979. It was Melody Maker, New Musical Express, and Sounds. Now, the other two weren't that interested in rock and metal, but Sounds would give bands the front page. And they gave the front page of Sounds to Thunderstick, the drummer from Samson, and then there was a big write-up where they'd played a gig in London with Angel Witch and Iron Maiden, and that was it. Jeff Barton and had gone to review the show. Alan Lewis come up with the name, the new wave of British heavy metal, and it was an exciting time because by this point Diamond Head was already an ongoing band. We'd probably done 10 gigs or something like that. We're doing our own demos, cassette demos and things like that. And so we felt we were ready to jump on board this train, this new wave of British heavy metal train. We could see that these other bands around the country, SAXON, there was Girls' School, there's a few other, Tigers of Pantang. And then each week there seemed to be more and more bands being featured. And so we got very excited about the idea of being one of these new wave of British heavy metal bands. Def Leppard got front cover early doors, and so we were all then hoping to get a record deal.
So you're looking at let's say 1980, maybe, give or take, or 81?
1979 that it came out. Yeah, 1979. The new wave of British heavy metal. The magazine.
Wow. So you guys were, let's say, about 3 years older than Metallica.
Yeah.
So
I'm 65, and I think Lars is maybe 62, something like that.
Yeah, 1963. Yeah.
Born in 1963, was it?
Yeah, 63.
Yes, okay, so.
Yeah, James and Lars are 1963. So, what did you first think of Lars taking your song? It's an awesome turnout on the long run, but how did you first feel when this kid from America, Denmark, took your song,
Well, obviously we knew Lars because he came over to England in 81. He'd already bought a copy of the album that we advertised in Sounds mail order for £3.50. He sent for his copy, and I think he was probably the first person in America to buy that album. And so we thought to ourselves, oh, we've got a fan in America, which was exciting. And then he wrote back to the address, which was like our fan club, and said, I really love the album. I'm going to come over and see the band and all that. And so sure enough, he came to a gig in London, and we met him. He came backstage and said, I'm Lars and all that, and I love the band or something like that. And then he stayed with me for a week, and he stayed with Sean for like 3 to 4 weeks, just sleeping on the couch. And he came to some more gigs with us. We took to him, he became our friend, and he was a super fan of the band. At that point, he wasn't in a band. He never even mentioned playing the drums or anything. He just seemed like this uber fan. He liked Motorhead. He liked all things new wave British heavy metal. And while he was over here, he bought lots of albums and singles while he could, and probably, spirited him away back to the US.
Wow. So some people don't know that. Some people don't know that Lars actually lived with you guys and was a part of Diamond Head as a friend, not as a band member or a roadie, but
he was in the car with us. Like, there's normally 5 people in the car, the 4 band members and 1 guy driving. And then Lars comes along, and then there's 6 people in the car now. So we all squidged up on the back seat in order to allow Lars to come in on the end. And he came out in 3 gigs like that. So, he really got into the thick of it, and we welcomed him in. He was such a nice guy, so enthusiastic. He loved the band so much, but what could we say? He was an uber fan.
And then later on, we all know the story of him.
He repaid our kindness in Spain.
Let's speak of Live and Electric. It's dropping July 11th here. Several different concerts in the making here. Who chose the songs, and who's the guy calling the shots here? Is it you, Brian?
Yes, it's still my band. I'm the only original member, and I'm the guy that formed the band in 1976. Having just left school. I was just about to leave school, so I just formed it from school friends, and I chose the set. And it would be the case of, we were on tour with SAXON, and we had a 40-minute slot, so I had to change the set in order to get these extra songs in, because obviously every night we had to play the big 5 songs, as we call them there. Am I Evil, It's Electric, The Prince, Helpless, and we always play In the Heat of the Night. So that's 5 songs out of an 8-song set that are taken. So the other 3 songs, we decided, right, I wanted to do Dead Reckoning, because we've never done that on a live album. We've never really done Sweet and Innocent on a live album. Plus, we've got songs from the last 2 albums. Now Raz is in the band. Raz has been in the band 11 years, and we've never done a live album. We haven't done a live album for 20 years. So it was a case of some songs from the Diamond Head album and the Cotton Train album mixed in with the big songs, and so we changed the set to fit in those tracks so that we could make this a good long live album, not just a 40-minute thing.
Were there any songs, Brian, that now looking back now in retrospect, any songs that you wish you could have put in there? Because there's other songs, right? I mean, I saw the set list and the album lineup of the songs, and it's an awesome set list for the fans, right? Is there any song in there that you wish you could have squeezed in there?
I'm going to say no, because they've been on previous live albums. Like, we always used to do Light into the Nations, and that's been on several live albums, as has Streets of Gold and what's the other one? Play It Loud. So that always was great live, but I just didn't think it was necessary to do another version of some of those songs. I think, well, they're on that album, they're on this album, so let's try and make it a bit fresh, so that if someone picks, here's the album, if you pick it up in the shop, you go, all right, it's got Dead Reckoning on it, all right, it's got, Set My Soul on Fire on it. So hopefully someone's going to go, okay, I'll give that a spin, because it's not just the usual Diamond Head songs that we've heard. I mean, it would have been nice to do To the Devil He's Due off Canterbury, because there's nothing off Canterbury on this album. But yeah, just time constraints, really. When you've got a 40-minute set, and a lot of times that's all we get. If we're supporting or if we're doing festivals, we might have 40, 45 minutes, and you have to do the big songs. So a lot of good songs get chopped out, and you just can't fit them in.
What is a day like for yourself, Brian? Who is Brian Tatler when you don't have a guitar on you, a guitar pick, a pack of strings? Who are you? What are your hobbies? For fans asking, what is a regular day like for Brian?
Yeah, okay. Well, at the moment, they're interview days. I've got 4 interview days in a row. But I fit in around, I'm married. I've got 2 stepkids, and I've got a grandson. So we do family things. I swim once a week. I cycle. I like to read. I like watching films. I still enjoy listening to music, and I practice the guitar every day. So I try to write things, even if, sometimes when I'm warming up or practicing, I'll come up with a riff or something. I think, oh, that's pretty good. Have to take it immediately because I'll have forgotten it in 2 minutes' time. So I put it on my phone or something, and I like to do that as well. I like to think, oh, I've written something today, and I try to do that every day if possible. But yeah, I enjoy my life. I try to get up early and make a start, get things done. I don't like to waste time. I'm fairly disciplined with my time.
As far as SAXON goes, how did you end up with that gig, and how does that affect Diamond Head, or does it not affect it?
It does affect Diamond Head. Diamond Head's on hold at the moment, on hiatus. We were advised by our manager and the agent to put it on hold, and I realised that we can't really book a Diamond Head gig at the moment because we book in advance, 6 months, 9 months sometimes, and if a SAXON gig comes in on that date, well, I'd have to do the SAXON gig. I couldn't do the Diamond Head gig. I'd have to cancel the Diamond Head gig, and that would be unfair on the rest of the band and the fans and promoters and all that. So yeah, but as far as joining SAXON, we've been on the same management and the same agents record label for quite a few years now, maybe 7 or 8 years, and so we started crossing paths more. We were opening for SAXON. We would bump into SAXON at festivals and things like that. Got to know each other better. And in 2022, there was a festival in Wales that I got a call saying Paul Quinn has got COVID. Would I be able to learn the set and dep for him at this festival, which was about 5 days away? And I said yes, and I started learning the set. And then it turned out that Paul was going to be okay for the show, so they didn't need me after all. But I thought that was very interesting that they asked me to do it. And then I thought, if ever Paul couldn't do it in the future, or if ever he retires from SAXON, would I like the job if I was offered it? And I decided yes, I would say yes, thank you very much. So that is what happened. Like 6 months later, in March 2023, I got a phone call saying Paul Quinn has retired from SAXON. Would I be interested in joining and doing all these dates that they got? And he was reading out, we're going to the US, we're doing these dates with Judas Priest, we got this, so this fantastic list of, South America, blah, blah. And I thought, yeah, absolutely. So again, back to the drawing board, start learning the material, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been fantastic. I've done 2 years now, and I'm loving it.
Awesome. So how is it working with Bill? Is he a cool guy, or does he have an attitude or anything like that?
Biff.
I'm sorry, Biff. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. So yeah, it's been great. We've written songs together. It's good fun on the road. He's got so many, rock and roll stories about touring, and they were big friends with Motorhead, so there's a lot of Lemmy stories that come up from time to time. And yeah, it's great. So I mean, we've spent time on the tour bus together, chatting and laughing about this, that, and the other, and in dressing rooms. So we see each other a lot, from only seeing each other from time to time to almost seeing each other every day, and it's great. It's a good band. I'm really enjoying playing with these guys, and all this excellent material. It's a real pleasure.
Do you have any Lemmy stories you might want to share with the fans?
No, because we never supported Motorhead. We never went on tour. Saxon were always on tour with Motorhead. And he's got these great stories, but I can't share them secondhand. We never did a single gig with Motorhead. I met him once in London in a bar, and he was playing pinball, as is his way. And we said hello and shook hands. But that's as far as it goes. I've got no exciting insight.
So, as far as your equipment, Brian, did you have to get different guitars to play with Saxon, or is it the same equipment, same amps and guitars, or?
I've been using Kempers for a while. So I was using Kemper in Diamond Head, and then when I joined Saxon, they use Kempers. I've been using them for about 10 years. So I sort of inherited Paul's rig, but I brought along my own Kemper. But we've tweaked the sound. I went to see Andy Sneap, and he helped me with the Kemper, and we upgraded the sound a little bit. And I've had my own pedal board, because Paul's pedal board was really big and it was a bit cumbersome to scoot around. So he had that back, and I've been using my own pedal board. But I've been using my own guitars, of course. I still use Les Pauls, and I like my Flying V's. So I bought a brand new Gibson Flying V last year, because my old white Flying V is like 45 years old, and it's quite a fragile thing now. It broke at the top, the head by the machine heads, 5 times over the years, and it's had to be repaired. So I don't trust it in a way to go on aeroplanes, and so I leave that at home now. It's retired, and I use this new one now, a white Gibson, classic 70s Flying V. So I've been doing gigs with the V and the Les Paul.
What's your favorite part of touring, Brian? Is it meeting people, traveling, playing on stage?
Yeah, I'd say the on stage bit, the actual gig. I find it slightly surreal, slightly strange at this level, and especially when we were opening for Judas Priest. Like, we'd sound check, and we'd be in a massive arena, be like 10,000 seats, empty seats. And I'd think, wow, what a huge venue. Is this gonna fill up? And then we'd disappear, and you'd go back out at showtime, the intro tape would be on, and we'd walk out to the front of the monitors, me and Doug, about to start the show, and the place is full, absolutely full, right to the very top tier of seats. And it was quite breathtaking a few times to look out and see all those people. I'm not really used to that. I don't have that very often. I've never done an arena tour, and yet I've done a couple of big festivals, but it still almost takes your breath a little bit. You have to, breathe deeply and relax and try not to mess it up.
Speaking of arenas and large crowds, do you keep up with new bands, and who do you think is going to hold up the Diamond Head Saxon Metallica flag in 20 years? Do you see any bands out there that can do what you guys and Iron Maiden and all these bands are doing?
Oh, it's hard to say. I mean, who knows? Bands, notoriously split up, don't they? And people leave and fall out, and they get dropped by the record label. So some bands, I mean, a band like Iron Maiden is a fantastic example of some tenacity and some fantastic drive, and the organisation that they've got round them has kept that band going for almost 50 years. So that's a very rare band from my perspective. Most bands don't last anything like that long or achieve anything like that kind of success. So, I mean, there are some new bands I've seen who I liked. I saw that band, the Southern River Band. That I like them. There's Green Lung. There's Witch Hazel. There's a few newish bands. Hang on, I've written a few down here. that I like, just to remind me. Yeah, the Crown Lands I liked Dirty Honey. So yeah, but who knows? I mean, you've got to have a good singer, you've got to have good songs, and then you've got to have the longevity and the drive and the tenacity to stay the course for album after album after album. So good luck to them.
Right. Are you familiar with Wolfie Van Halen or?
Only familiar as in I've heard him and I've seen him on the TV. I haven't been to see him live, but yeah, great, amazingly talented that he can do all that and play every instrument. I mean, I'm a huge Van Halen fan, of course, and Eddie in particular blew my mind back in 1978. But I absolutely admire his rhythm playing, not just all the tapping and that, but what he does in the background underneath the vocals. A song like, you know, Hang 'em High or Hear About It Later or Hop the Teacher. His rhythm playing is unbelievable. I can't get enough of Eddie's rhythm playing. It's the greatest rock rhythm guitar player of all time, in my opinion.
If you could time travel, Brian, where would you travel to? What year? And what would you be doing down there? Would you be checking out a band, or would you be doing a different decision on your band or something? Where would you time travel to if you had the?
Yeah, okay. I'd quite like to see the Beatles in the 60s, because of course their last gig was 1966, and I'm 6 years old, so I never had a chance. I'd quite like to have seen Hendrix, but there's tons of bands that I'd like to go back in time and watch. I'd like to have seen Pink Floyd in 73 or something like that. I'm lucky enough to have seen Zeppelin and AC/DC, so I've seen some of my favourite bands. But it would also be interesting to go back and meet Shakespeare and watch a play or something like that.
Right.
You know, a bit of history. I don't know. I used to think, what would I do if I had a time machine? How could I transport something like the Mona Lisa, for example, go buy it off Leonardo da Vinci? But every plan I come up with comes unstuck, because for a start, if you bought the Mona Lisa off Leonardo da Vinci, you wouldn't have the right money, would you? He wouldn't know what you were talking about. I wouldn't know what he was talking about. And then anyway, if I brought it back in my time machine, it's now brand new, and it's not famous because it hasn't been around for 400 years, and it hasn't gain this incredible state. It would just be a brand new painting by somebody. You'd think, well, that's got to be a fake, hasn't it? It wouldn't have the same value. And the same with I could go back and get a 1957 Les Paul Standard, you know, and if you bought it back in your time machine, it would now be a brand new Les Paul, and therefore not worth $350,000, you know.
Wow.
So I've thought it through, and I haven't come up with a winner yet.
Wow, that's a very, very good point there. You would bring back new stuff that's not worth. Wow.
It's brand new, isn't it? Because you brought it in the time machine with you. It wouldn't just suddenly age. It's the aging that, you know, that makes it authentic. You could have a sheet of penny blacks, but it'd be brand new. You'd think, well, it's fake.
Right. Wow. Give us your favorite Diamond Head track, Brian.
I still like Am I Evil? I mean, I've been playing it for a long time. It always goes down really, really well. It's a good riff. It's a great chorus. It's a nice big guitar solo. So I always look forward to playing that one. Very often, if the crowd's really into the show, I always think by the time we get to Am I Evil, it's going to go mad. You know, we're going to blow the roof off. But there's other songs I enjoy playing. I used to like playing Heat of the Night, and Night of the Swords was always fun from Canterbury. But yeah, if I had to pick one, I'm going to plump for Am I Evil.
Nice. Before I let you go, Brian, can you give fans any hope for a live performance from Diamond Head? Us diehard fans, is there any hopes of maybe Biff giving you a chance? You know?
Yeah. Well, we couldn't just hold a window open, so that we can. It's what comes in, isn't it? So Saxon's planning a year ahead all the time. But you never know. I think if we did get a window, if, for example, everybody said, right, we're going on holiday there, or we're not going to do anything, something could come along and we'd all want to do it. But at the moment, it's on hold, and you'll just have to wait until something comes along that we all want to do, and we're available and we can do it.
Awesome. So thank you for your time. Thank you for making time, Brian. And Live in Electric, dropping July 11th for the listeners. Pick it up and pre-order it and this and that, right? So thank you, Brian. Keep rocking, and I appreciate what you do for the rock business. We really do. On behalf of your fans here, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, great. Cheers.
One of the originators and pioneers of the new wave of British heavy metal has been a part of our show, and we truly appreciate your presence, Mr. Tatler, all the way from the UK across the world, as I am in the US, the state of Texas. So thank you for filling in the Diamond Head fanatics on the status of the band. And now that we know what's going on with SAXON, hopefully we can see some dates, some future dates with Diamond Head. Live in Electric, dropping July 11th, the first live album from the band in 20 years. Listen to that. So pick it up, pre-order it, and support the band and Brian, as he is the only remaining and sole remaining member of the band in 2025. As far as the podcast, thank you guys for downloading, streaming, subscribing, ringing the bell on YouTube, blah blah blah. So thank you from your friend all the way from the state of Texas, James, who is spinning around the globe just like everybody else. Third planet from the sun, That Metal Interview podcast. Don't forget to tune in to our sister station, J-Rock's Metal Zone. You can find it online, jrocksmetalzone.com. Or, unless you're in Eagle Pass, Texas, you can find it on 95.3 FM. Don't forget to keep it metal.
That Metal Interview.